Americano, americano, siéntame chi do fa fa.
Ciao, benvenuti tutti. How are you, loves? Welcome. How are you? Tonight is Pomodoro sauce. Fabulous. I know it's fall and it's sweater weather, but I'm still in my lemon fabulous dress. Thank you, Jenny, who convinced me to get this. And I hadn't worn it in a live yet, and I had to, and I just love it. So there it is. I'm giving my nod to summer since we didn't get to do too many lives, and I thought I would make, at the end of the summer, if you have tomatoes, if you have cherry tomatoes, we're gonna make a salsa pomodoro. And I'm gonna do it, not with our own tomatoes, I'm gonna do it with a fantastic Italiano cherry tomato sauce from Lidl. If you don't know Lidl, run to Lidl because they're having their Italian specialties now. Amazing sauce. This is from Italy. It's just cherry tomatoes, carrots, virgin olive oil, onion, celery, basil. It's fantastic. This goes in the sauce. So if you're on tonight, we're just making a simple pomodoro sauce. I made this the other night and my mom just literally just finished it. She just ate it, just like a soup out of the pot, right? So we're all here tonight. Mama Lamberti, Rob, the director, we're all here. But I thought before we started, I would make a little drinky. Now, I don't drink alcohol. I probably should, but I don't. But when we were up in Connecticut and did our fabulous DWTD concert last week, our friend Nolan took us to the farmer's market the next day and said, you've got to try this. And this is called Rouse Coffee Cold Roman Ready to Serve Espresso. And it is insane, insane. Director's going to take the glass from you. So there's this fantastic espresso. It's just espresso and it's a bit of just raw sugar, filtered water. That's it. But what he did there, he poured it over ice and then shook up some cold half and half. So it was really foamy and it was beautiful, delicious. So I thought we'd have a little nipple do you before we start. So here's the beautiful, thank you dear, on the rocks. Just a nip of espresso or else I'm gonna be up all night. We don't need that, we don't need. And then we're gonna do a little bit of shaky of the really nice half and half. So get it really cold. This has been in the fridge all day. Shake it up so it gets really frothy. He keeps it on ice, the guy. It was amazing. So then you just pour it over. Look guys, boom. Look at that. It's beautiful. There we go. Now, if you wanna have a little nip, put in amaretto, would be delicious in this. Thank you, Rob. Amaretto would be fabulous. So cheers, skål, all of it. It's ching ching, it's fantastic. So have a little bit before we start. Oh yeah. Oh, is that delicious? It's beautiful. Gorgeous espresso, a little half and half. Nice in the afternoon, little pick me up. Really gorgeous drink. But while we're here, we're gonna do a salsa pomodoro. So if you're there, chat, leave me little comments, ask questions, ask away. I know it's about almost 7 o'clock, so I'm not sure everybody's around, but you'll see this again as I replay it. So here we go. I'm gonna turn on, remember this induction burner? Remember this, guys, from the good old days of doing my Dining with the Divas every single day that we did? Fabulous. So I'm just gonna turn it on. If I can get it on, would be lovely. It's been a while since I've used it. So we're gonna turn it on low. And what I'm gonna do, it's very, very simple sauce, guys. It's not a ton of ingredients because the tomatoes are really gonna speak for themselves. This is a beautiful cherry tomato sauce, but if you don't have it, use your own cherry tomatoes from the garden or your regular plum tomatoes, any tomatoes you have in the garden. Fantastic. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little extra virgin olive oil. This is now heating up really beautifully. There we go. We're gonna put a little olive oil in, probably a little bit more than a little. Nice glug will do ya. Mom's laughing in the background. And so what I like to do to flavor it, I know this may cause a commotion. I'm not big on, and I don't have any right now, garlic. I don't have any fresh garlic. And I like fresh garlic, I like local garlic. I don't have any, but what I noticed is I like the sweetness of onion or shallot. So what I did, I didn't chop it up, so there's little pieces of it, which my mom's not thrilled with. I just cut the shallot in half and I let it sit here in the oil to flavor it. I like shallot, there's a subtle sweetness to it that the onion can be quite acidic and sort of very strong. So I love this sort of sweetness shallot, and I thought it worked in the sauce. I know all the Italians are gonna go crazy. I know, sorry, but we're just doing it what I have in the house tonight. And then we're gonna add the cherry tomato sauce. Very simple. We're just gonna add that in. See, it's almost like a passata. It's just very simple. It's not chunky, but then I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. This mic goes spitting. I may have to turn it down. There we go. So we're just gonna add that beautiful cherry tomato sauce or passata if you have it. Beautiful. And then I have some pomi. You can get this everywhere now. Pomi chopped tomatoes, fresh Italian tomatoes. They're chopped, so it adds a bit of texture to the sauce. We're just gonna dump those right in. Look at that, guys. Beautiful, fantastic. Thank you, Roberto. And then, because we have it from the garden, you know, it's the end of summer, so the gardens are not producing as much, but we managed to get this much fresh basil off the basil. So I like to put the basil leaves in whole. Just let this simmer. That's what this does. And then what I love to do, because you know me, you know what this is? All of my Parmigiano and Grana Padano rinds that I keep in the freezer. So it adds a really beautiful umami taste to sauces, soups, so I like to throw one in. This, I believe, is a Grana one. I have some Pecorino, so there's a whole bunch of different ones. Here's a Padano. This is a Grana Padano one. Put that in, and that'll flavor it beautifully. And then just a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't even think I peppered mine last time. It was just salt. And the sauce was so pure, so beautiful. My mom had it plain. I made it for Lars over a little penne al dente. It was fantastic. And a little beautiful sea salt. It's just a pinch. A little pinch will do ya. There it is, lovies. Beautiful sea salt. And there it is. And we're just gonna simmer this down for a while. I don't know if anybody's here, because sometimes if you swipe, you can see comments. Swipe left to reveal comments and reactions. So we'll see if anybody's here tonight. If not, all good. So we're just gonna simmer this down. I would simmer this, some people might do it for an hour, they might do it for a while. I think I simmered this for maybe 20, 25 minutes, I think. And it was just delicious. It was so fantastic. This, and I also made meatballs. I'm gonna talk about the meatballs I made because I actually don't have any left to show you, but I will do a meatball tutorial one night. Because what I did have, I had some grass-fed ground beef that we have. We eat a lot of grass-fed beef here. So I had some that I got at Lidl or Aldi. They have really good quality. And it was actually, one was 93 and 7%. So it was less fat, and then one was 85-15, so more fat. I combined them. I didn't use pork and I didn't use turkey this time. Sometimes you can mix if you like that. That's great. This time I only had beef and I thought it worked really, really well. And then also what I did, I had Parmigiano, I had 2 eggs. I also had, what else was in there? This is what I do. I don't like to put raw garlic in meatballs or anything raw because I don't find that it cooks long enough to take that taste. So what I did is I took out the Cuisinart and I put in some onion, shallot, and mushrooms, actually. This is what made the meatballs very moist. And I put it in the Cuisinart and just pulsed it till it was fine. Threw that in some olive oil and sauteed it down, and then put the mixture, once it was cooked for about 15 minutes, sort of caramelized, into the beef. And it was off the chain. I mean, they were really, really beautiful. Parmigiano, some Italian seasoning, actually, and I had a little bit of leftover. I was just sort of cleaning the fridge out. A little leftover pesto, which had some garlic and basil in it, which helped. And I just did that, and the meatballs, I did them with a little ice cream scoop, so they were all the same size, and I baked them. I know a lot of people fry them, which is delicious too. I just sometimes don't want all the splatter all over the kitchen, so I bake them at around 375 for about 20 some minutes or so until they're cooked through, and they were delicious, really fantastic. I just do them on the baking pans with a Silpat sheet, and they were fantastic. Yes, guys? Off the chain. When I gave, I think, Lars this meal with the penne, this sauce, and the meatballs, he was like, this is the best food I've ever had. You know. So it was really, really delicious. Fantastic. But I just wanted to come in and do a fast sauce. End of the summer sauce. Now you can add whatever you want to this, guys. So you want to add your garlic added in there. I know a lot of people love garlic, crushed garlic. Go on, put it in. You want some oregano, you want different types of seasonings, go for it. I think this is just a great base. Let your creativity speak, and then put it on whatever. If you're doing a low carb thing, put it over meatballs, eat it like that. It's delicious. If you're having pasta, have it with pasta. It's great with penne, it's just great with spaghetti. Here's a few more little basil leaves, there we go. And then at the end I had some fresh Parmigiano. They have it on sale at Lidl this week. Really delicious Parmigiano. I'm just gonna turn this down a little, guys, because it's gonna spit all over. And, what, Mama? It is imported from Italy. It's fantastic cheese. No, it's beautiful. It's the real Parmigiano Reggiano. So delicious. Really lovely. I'm turning this way down. It's just spitting away.
It smells delicious.
But it smells, the whole kitchen smells beautiful. It is a great sauce, very simple. Just a beautiful, simple red tomato sauce to put on top of anything with your meatballs. Hi, Patrice, how are you? Hi, guys. There's some new people in tonight. Lovely to see you, loves. So we're just doing a salsa. We're doing a pomodoro. Very simple. If you have fresh tomatoes, best way to do it, I found, because I used to do a sauce by Marcella Hazan, the great cookbook writer, great author, fantastic, that she made with fresh tomatoes. So if you use fresh tomatoes, what I would suggest doing is, if you have the Roma tomatoes or the fresh garden tomatoes, put them in some hot water, almost boiling water, for a few minutes, and then shock them in cold water to peel off the skins. Because sometimes the skins can be tough in the sauce. So that's what I would do. I would then take them out of the water, peel off the skin, take the seeds out, chop them up, and then do a sauce like this. It may take a little bit more time to cook them down, but they're delicious as well. So if you have a lot of leftover tomatoes in your garden, go for it. Do this with it. Or if you have beautiful crushed canned tomatoes, same thing. Just a beautiful sauce, cook it down. But my key, I believe, is to put a little bit of shallot or onion that's whole. So it just cooks and flavors it. Then you can take it out, or if you love the shallot when it's really cooked down, eat that with it, or take it out and put it to the side. You don't need to use it. And then also the rind is really big. The rind of grana, the rind of, if you have also Parmigiano, or also the other one, Pecorino, if you have that. That's a different taste. So you can use that. It's so delicious, guys. Really beautiful. Rob's finding more basil leaves to put in. The fresh basil is fantastic. But if you don't have that, you can use your dried Italian seasonings, dried basil, dried oregano. Just remember, don't put a lot in, because the dried is very strong, very strong. So always taste as you go. But it's a really lovely sauce. It's great on everything. Really delicious. So any questions out there, loves? You got it. I know I came in a little bit early tonight, so maybe people will catch this on the replay. So just gonna cook this a bit more. Should I take a taste of it, Rob? Should I use this spoon or another one? Could you get me another spoon, sweetheart? That'd be great. I'll be good. So here we go. We're just gonna try really delicious. I'm gonna try it. Here we go, loves. We'll see how it's going. Oh, yeah. Delish. Now, if you want a little more spice, add some pepperoncino. Add a little bit of picante. I'm not a huge spice person. It bothers me, but Rob loves it. My mom loves it. Lars loves a little bit spicy kick to it. So you could add some pepperoncino to it. It's really, really delicious just to have a little bit of heat to it. It's fabulous. So here we go. I'm just going to show you what I did. What I like to do also during the week, I cook up some pasta, especially because Lars loves it. And what I do, I cook it up to al dente, and then I don't rinse it. I just sort of cool it off, and I put some olive oil over it just to make it sort of nice and moist. Then I keep it in these glass containers in the fridge, and then let's say I want to have a pasta dish that's not just all red sauce, so it's soaking in it. Here, it stays al dente because the sauce is not drinking all of it up, or the pasta's not drinking it all up, I should say. Sorry, it's been a few weeks, right? Since I've done a live. So have some of this beautiful pasta. You can heat it up. I'm sorry, I'm using my hands. I'm just being, hi Betsy, how are you? Have some of this beautiful al dente, and then it's always al dente. It's not that sort of mushy quality that a lot of places have, because it's tough to do al dente and do it. Hi Angela, how are you, sweetheart? Welcome. Yes, we're doing our red sauce. You remember that, Angela? I used to make you guys red sauce with ceci and all that for a long time. Thank you, Mama.
Yeah.
Mom brought in more basil. We're just throwing it all in. Fresh basil from the garden. Fabuloso.
Just at the end of it.
It's the end of it, but that's all good. So I like to keep some al dente penne that's not sauced in the fridge. Then you can use it. You can use it with olive oil and cheese. You can use it for anything. And then you don't have, it just committed to one sauce. So I'll put some of that in a bowl. I'm just going to show you. Now it is a little bit cold. So what I would do is, if you wanted to just keep this, take some out, put it in another, dish, heat it up, and then heat the sauce through it, and that'll really be delicious. So that's what I do. Or dump this in here. Should I dump it in? Oh, I could, but then, I'll just spoon it over it, because not a lot of people aren't A lot of people aren't eating carbs in the house, so they're just gonna eat the sauce like a soup. But this is what you do. I would probably go a few more minutes with the sauce, lovies. I have a big spoon here just so I can ladle it out. Thank you, dear, I appreciate that. Let's try it. Let's try, I know, I know. But we're all family here. Fantastic. Delicious, you're gonna love it. Very simple, and make it your own, guys. You don't have to make it just like me. But you know, I like to also put the sauce, you know, I don't like to sort of ladle it on top. I like to sort of cook it in there, but that's all right. That's how we're doing it tonight. There it is, and it's fantastic. It's really, really beautiful sauce. I'm just gonna clean that off, and I'm gonna have a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano with my microplane here. I'm gonna have to do that off camera. You see me sort of doing it, right? So the Parmigiano Reggiano on top of the pasta, and just cook that through, sweethearts. There it is. Look at that. Just cook that through. It is off the chain. You would want to heat up the penne, but it's all good. It's lovely. So it's just a lovely, simple sauce. Parmigiano, pecorino, grana padano. Oh yeah. It's delicious because the sauce is hot. So it really has heated up the pasta quite well. And it's a beautiful sauce. Very simple, very delicious, very tomatoey. Perfect way to use up your tomatoes, your basil for the end of the season. It comes together in about 10-15 minutes. If you want to cook it longer, cook it for an hour. It'll just get more concentrated, more delicious. But you don't need to cook it for that long. It's so... Oh yeah. And I'm not a big red sauce person. I'm not. I like it. I'm more the bolognese type. I love carbonara. I love just the simple with the cheese and that sort of thing. I'm not the big, I love bolognese, but I'm not the biggest red sauce person, but this is beautiful. It's very tasty. Someone like to taste it? Would you like a little bite, Robo? He wants to have a little bite. We're gonna see how he likes it. There it is. Yeah, it's good?
Brilliant.
And then Mom will have this entire thing for dinner as a soup. That's what she's gonna eat. She's gonna sit there and just eat it like that. I think she ate it. Did you eat it cold the other day?
Yeah.
She ate it cold out of the fridge. It was in the fridge. She opened up the container, ate it cold. That was her lunch munch.
I didn't finish it completely.
It was delicious. And then I made it another night for Lars, and I had the meatballs separate, just put everything together. And dinner came together within about 10 minutes because I had everything done separately, then heated it all up. If it stays in the sauce with the meatballs and the pasta, it gets kind of mushy through the week. That's why I put it in separate containers and then bring it all together. And then the meatballs don't have all the sauce in it. You can put them in at the end and then they can absorb the sauce and it's just delicious. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do a meatball tutorial because they were really, really delicious. There's a lot of different ways to do meatballs. I know everyone has their amazing recipes. I just thought this was, I've done meatballs a lot, especially for soups and things like that. You can make them really big and make them tiny. These were about this size. I didn't make them too large, but they were quite delicious. And I think the point was to saute onion. You could use garlic, shallot, and I use mushrooms because mushrooms give moisture. Because you know, sometimes meatballs can be dry. These were quite moist. And you can also use something that the Italians will use. They'll take white bread with milk and they'll make this beautiful concoction that they put in and then it makes it all very moist. Or you can use panko breadcrumbs or anything you'd like, but they're really fun. I'm gonna come in next week and do those. I'm gonna get some more grass-fed beef and do those for you guys. So if you have any questions, just text me. We're gonna come in once a week because I like to annoy my friend Rob and everyone so we can do more lives. Yes. And it'll be great fun and tell you about what's going on because we're doing more of our Dining with the Diva concerts. We had a really great success up in Connecticut. Hi, Sarah. How are you, sweetheart? At a beautiful apartment complex called the Anchorage, and all of their residents came, and it was just it was so meaningful to me. A lot of people came up who had never heard opera. Then there were people who'd gone to the Met all their life or were theater people. So you had this very varied sort of audience. And then you also had, hi, sweetheart. Oh, thank you, Sarah. This came from Cider. I think that's the name of the company, yes, Cider. Yes, and my friend Jenny, even though we've never met, but we're friends on Facebook, I saw this dress on her and I was like, I've got to order it because I just thought it was so cool. And I'm not a big sort of, you know, this kind of dress person, but when I saw the cut of it, I flipped out. They also had cherry and they had orange, but I just got the lemon because I thought it was pretty for summer. But it's so fun and it's very comfortable. I have it actually on with a black skirt. It is all the way down, but I put one of my high black skirts on and just used it as a top. You know, what the heck, right? That was Rob's idea. I'm gonna nod over here to the director because that was his idea. Yeah. We've known each other since I was 12, so it's all good. Yeah. There it is. And so we were up there, great concert, beautiful people. I actually met a lovely young lady who wanted to study voice, so it was just really lovely. So it's great. Just pass it along. I now have my private vocal studio open here in New Jersey, and then also I'll travel to people as well. I mean, if it's not... Thank you. The wireless. Oh, sorry guys, it just went out for a minute, the wireless connection. But I wanted to thank you for everything, and have a beautiful night. Try this sauce with your leftover tomatoes and your basil. It's fantastic. We're going to be coming and doing a live at least once a week, if not more. We'll see. If I could get back to every day, it would be a hoot. So, you know, write me, let me know what you'd like to see, and we'll try it out. Okay, sweethearts? Have a beautiful night. Thank you so much for coming in, and we're going to go out with our favorite song. Here we go. Ciao a tutti!